All right, this is a work in progress, but this is my 80s room so far. You got basic stuff. You just have 80s movies posters and band posters and everything. As many as you can fit. You can never have enough posters. If you look at old pictures from the 80s, or if you were alive in the 80s, you'll know that this is true. There will be a lot more posters later on. This is what I got so far. The room is going to take place in the year 1988. That's going to be the time frame for it. So you got like Lost Boys came out in 87. That's as far as I'm willing to go with posters. You have this dresser here, Madeline's old dresser. If it's not from the 80s, it's damn close. 90s at the latest. But looks pretty 80s to me. This camera, just got this recently. This also came from Madeline's Uncle Will, who was getting rid of a bunch of stuff, older fella. I looked it up. Can't remember the brand name right now. I looked it up, and it was in production from 1981 to 1984. So yeah, cool. I just got some cassettes here. I need to print out a bunch of cassette cover, whatever the hell you call them, cases, because a bunch of these are just generic. Got this here. This is like $20 on Amazon, little fake boombox, but it does actually play cassettes. Gizmo's hanging out here because he loves music. The plasma lamp. I thought I wasn't sure if this was 80s because I remember seeing it a lot when I was younger in the 90s. But I looked it up and they did come out in the 80s. They had one in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Horrible movie. Don't like it at all. Jason Voorhees mask. Self-explanatory. With the drapes here, I was thinking repurposed 70s drapes. This maybe was in the parents' bedroom at one point, and now it's in the kids' room. Have a pretty generic guitar here. Just put a bunch of stickers on it. 80s stickers, that kind of thing. I have an end table here. Got a pink phone. If you've ever seen any 80s movie, they probably had a pink phone. This also came from Amazon. A little replica 80s flashlight. It's horrible. It doesn't light up anything. It's really bad. You think maybe that they'd at least update it and make it a real flashlight and then just look like an 80s flashlight. But no, this is shit. Rubik's Cube. So, I've got a bunch of brass coverings here for the outlets and the light switch. Just got white right now. That's not very period accurate. I know brass was very popular in the 80s. I have the light switch here that came already. I want black behind the brass. I think that'll match better. The outlets haven't come yet. That's why I haven't switched them out yet. I have this big backdrop or tapestry, whatever the hell you call it. We associate this kind of design with the 80s nowadays. I don't know if they actually had this kind of stuff in the 80s. You'll watch a lot of movies. I haven't really noticed it, but it says 80s to me, so there it is. I needed something big for the back wall. I have this lamp here from my parents' house. It's 70s or 80s. It's pretty old. The plug was so old and gross and grody that I had to switch it out with a modern day plug so that I don't burn my house down. I have this clock here. I know that digital clocks were very prominent in the 80s, especially the later 80s, but I just wanted an excuse to buy one of these older clocks. The numbers look 80s to me. And I don't know, we'll just say maybe the teenager that lives here is a little bit of a retro nerd or a hipster. Let's see what else. I got the dartboard just for fun, hoop for fun, a couple balls to throw in the hoop. I have a bedspread I bought, which has a bunch of geometric shapes that we associate with the 80s now, but once again, I just don't know if they had that in the 80s, so I haven't put it on there yet. I might just go and get something a little more plain, just something with some plain stripes that I think would match better. And then last but not least, I gotta do something about that boob light. I don't think these were around in the 80s. These are kind of like modern generic lights. I might try to find an old retro ceiling fan and put it there. We'll see. But that's it for now. I'll let you know when it's done.